Continuity planning is simply the good business practice of ensuring the execution of essential functions through all circumstances. It is a fundamental responsibility of public and private entities responsible to their stakeholders.
Good morning, sir.
Morning. Hey, can you take care of this for me?
Glad to.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Mark Brown, and I've spent much of my professional career working on continuity programs at the federal, state, and local level. Over the years, I've developed a real passion for building and strengthening continuity capabilities. Whether a veteran or somewhat new to continuity, I suspect you feel the same. Ask any organization or employee unable to perform mission essential functions, and you'll know continuity matters. Your work matters. But being a continuity professional isn't easy, is it? There's much to know, and your challenges are many. Your first challenge may be learning what continuity means for your organization. At the heart of it, what are the organization's mission essential functions? What assets are needed to keep them going? What legal authorities may apply? What dependencies do you have? How will you communicate in and out of your organization? How do you secure your people and enable them to perform? And finally, how do you test, train, and exercise the plan so your program actually works? That knowledge is critical. However, I'm here to share with you that our deep understanding and passion for continuity is all but lost if we're not connecting with our leaders. We need to step directly into the leader's shoes when we advocate for continuity. You see, from their perspective, it comes down to benefits and mission success. That should be our perspective when we discuss continuity with them. When we place ourselves in our leader's shoes, we begin to present continuity and its benefits in a very specific way. We identify the value continuity presents for the organization and its constituents. We assess, prioritize risks that can be managed or avoided. We share, perhaps measure, the return on investment. When we do this, we get our leaders thinking about the opportunities and consequences of their decisions in a new light. That's when we look for the chance to involve the leader and seize it. Bottom line, we need their support. That's what this video is all about, helping you learn how to step into your leader's shoes. It's a tool to help you frame a strategy that connects you with your leader's reality. Keep in mind that leaders often face 4 key challenges when it comes to continuity. 1, competing resources such as money, people, and time. 2, gaps in understanding continuity benefits and the impacts on mission, people, and assets. 3, perceptions of low or no risk of an event that would require a continuity program. And number 4, not knowing the role they can or should play in continuity. In this video, we'll see 3 continuity professionals sharing trials in gaining leadership buy-in. As you watch, note whether or not these professionals are addressing the common challenges. By the end, you'll be better prepared to research your organization's challenges, focus in on opportunities for specific benefits and returns, and identify ways to gain your leaders' active support. The next opportunity with them may come sooner than you think. Now, let's listen in.
Hey, good morning, Juan.
Hey, Chester.
Glad to see you at the working group today.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a new job. I hear there's a lot of changes going on with the organization. Must be an exciting time to take on that continuity program.
Right. Congratulations on the new position. Bet you're eager to use your experience to whip that program into shape.
Thanks so much, guys. I really appreciate it. I will be doing a lot of things for the organization, and the continuity role is mine, but we'll see what I actually get to do.
I'm surprised to hear that from you, Juan. What do you mean?
Well, I was at a meeting this morning with the new director. He's a sharp guy, and we're all really excited about what he brings to the table. I mean, all of the organizational components were briefed out on the programs, accomplishments, strategic directions.
Yeah, but did you talk to him about continuity? I mean, he sounds like he's really interested.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. I mean, he was really into all the other briefings. He was chatting it up with finance about tight budgets, potential cuts, and future investments. He was on the edge of his chair talking to IT about networks and data storage. I mean, he was embracing conversation after conversation about all the operational program areas. Facilities, HR, energy costs, procurement.
Well, that must have given you some good insight into your program.
Well, yeah, but I admit I wasn't completely listening. I mean, my time was at the end of the agenda, so I was basically running the briefing in my head, you know? I didn't want to leave anything out. You know how complex it is.
Right, so how did it go?
Well, once the continuity agenda item came up, I jumped right in. Or stumbled, rather. Sir, continuity planning is like an insurance policy. You hope you never need it, but if a disaster or emergency happened and destroyed our facility, a continuity program would keep our essential functions going. You see, there are 4 phases of continuity, from readiness and preparedness, activation, operations, and finally reconstitution. And the program needs to consider 4 pillars of continuity: staff, leadership, communications, and facilities. We need to conduct extensive business process analyses to identify those mission essential functions and the resources needed. Then we must conduct business impact analyses to assess relevant threats and risks. After the plan is in place, we need regular tests, training, and exercises to make sure it works. And, sir, we need to engage our customers, partners, and suppliers as well. And we will have to identify alternate facilities or work arrangements. Those can be cold, warm, or even hot. We need to write detailed plans for activation, family support, reconstitution, and of course, devolution.
Wow. Let's let Juan catch his breath as we talk about this. On one hand, Juan presented a lot of good information. He clearly understands what continuity is all about. But Juan sort of over-communicated, didn't he? Yet, that's only part of why Juan did not connect with his leader. Yes, leaders need to understand continuity. But first, they need to understand how continuity benefits the organization. Remember, stepping into your leader's shoes means focusing on what they need to know. That is, continuity benefits and solutions specific to the organization's mission. How those things tie to real challenges, opportunities, and risk. And in what ways the leader can or should help. Had Juan been in his leader's shoes as he prepared his briefing, he would have better integrated his continuity knowledge with his organization's needs. Now let's continue with our group.
I spoke for 10 minutes, and I did a great job summarizing the continuity concepts and activities for him.
Well, you know your stuff, Juan, so why are you so down?
Because he only asked me a few questions and even asked me to slow down a few times. I mean, he thanked me, but he never asked about next steps or even offered to help. I mean, if I were him, I'd be chomping at the bit to get started. I left feeling like I didn't have his full interest or support. It's pretty frustrating.
Sorry to hear that, Juan. I used to feel the same way in my organization. Like you did, I gave the textbook argument for continuity, but only got what I'd consider basic buy-in.
Textbook argument? What is that?
You know, you define what continuity is, what was required, and told them what makes a good program. To us, that all makes sense, but educating business leaders on best practices doesn't always help them make decisions about where to invest their limited time, money, and energy. I didn't get true buy-in for continuity until I mapped out why to invest.
It seems obvious, though. Maybe it's just me.
No, I see what Julie's saying. I mean, Juan, put yourself in your leader's shoes for a moment.
Those are some pretty nice shoes. I mean, I was admiring them the other day. They were practically gleaming.
Yeah, well, the person who's wearing those shoes has a lot of issues to balance to meet the needs of today, on top of having to save resources for something they think may never happen. So, all things considered, too much invested on continuity may seem wasteful until the unexpected happens.
Right. At my first organization, it was simple. Basic continuity awareness was enough. All it took was a training program and reaching out to some people. That leader knew as much as I did about our continuity program, only she didn't have the funds to test, train, and exercise the plan. We wrote out the plan, got her to sign off, and then it collected dust on a shelf for 2 years. Budget constraints had her cutting programs. She said she felt she had to consider the risk, and cutting continuity activities was a risk she had to take.
Wow, that's tough, Julie. So what happened?
I began to realize that her budget challenge was also mine. So I got creative. I started to look at the program's core elements. I realized that I kept asking her for money, but many elements could progress on some level by being resourceful about the use of people and time. So for example, my colleagues and I piggybacked on other meetings to discuss the plan, update rosters, and verify alert procedures. We capitalized on fire drills by sending out staff emails to gauge if teams knew what to do in the following days, had it been real. We assessed telework capability on snow days to see if that was a sustainable option for continuity.
Wow. Did your leadership know what you were doing?
Yes, I was very open about it. In fact, my director later thanked me for keeping the program alive despite the budget issues. She was relieved and shared that many employees mentioned that it made them feel like the organization was working to secure their safety and productivity. It was a real morale booster.
Huh. Those are great points, Julie. I'm getting some really good ideas here. I remember the HR director mentioning that employees felt limited in career progression. You know, at my last job, we encouraged employees to be cross-trained across different functions and to understand what their supervisor's job and responsibilities were so that they could ultimately step up in the order of succession if needed. That actually allowed employees to develop additional skills and qualifications and open doors for promotions and new opportunities.
That kind of benefit is great for any organization's morale and performance.
Look, guys, we all know that getting support without a budget is a reality sometimes. When my leadership realized how our business process analysis and business impact analysis helped them make informed decisions about what was truly important, they asked me to re-engage in that analysis because it actually helped them save money.
That was a great discussion. You can see how critical it is to be resourceful. Even without funds, Julie overcame the continuity knowledge gap at one of her organizations with focused outreach. At another, she put elements of continuity to work using existing daily operations. Her efforts made her leaders look good and resulted in an unexpected return for the organization and its people. Juan recalled how cross-training at one of his organizations had similar benefits, improving morale and performance, while ensuring essential functions weren't impacted by personnel departures or illnesses. Be creative. Limited funding is not the end of the road. It's the opportunity to think outside the box and find ways to implement elements of continuity. Recognize that some leaders need to see continuity and its benefits in action before they understand how investments yield returns. Let's see what Chester has to say.
All great ideas. I had a completely different buy-in challenge when I started. My team leader knew about continuity planning from his days as a national security advisor, and he had money to spend if he wanted to. But he only thought of continuity in the context of major disasters. I mean, we weren't likely targeted by terrorists. We weren't living in hurricane and tornado zones, and there weren't any major fault lines near us. In fact, the organization and the community prided itself on having a nice, safe, and friendly place to live and work. We all joked once that the most disruptive thing that ever happened to us was the new ice cream parlor that opened up across the street, and all the employees took a 2-hour lunch.
I bet you went missing too, Chester. Come on. All right, I admit, I see your leader's point. Continuity planning should be risk-based.
Right, but get this. The following summer, we had a faulty sprinkler system that soaked every inch of our workspace. It ruined all our computers and servers. I mean, we recovered, but it was painful and quite costly without that continuity plan. It was eye-opening for him to see that it could happen to us quite differently than what he thought. Now, our continuity program increases every year because he realizes that continuity could save a day.
Absolutely. I mean, no one can prevent widespread power outages or incidents affecting access to local roads and bridges. I mean, you've got to plan.
Yeah. Thanks for this, guys. I really appreciate it. I needed to shake off my concerns over that last meeting and refocus. I think I'll work next on reaching a better understanding on challenges and give specific examples of how continuity addresses them. I'll hold the whole programmatic textbook details for them later. You know, I may have gone into the weeds the first time. I know it takes time to get continuity off the ground. But next time, it's going to be me that has him excited. Besides, it would be nice to imagine myself in those nice shoes.
That's great to hear, Juan. Go for it. And think about the organization challenges. Go and talk to the folks over there in the briefing about their issues, you know, the ones that your team leader seems to pay more attention to. You already know that there are issues in the budget and the facility that needs to be addressed. You already know that he cares about IT disaster recovery and he wants to understand the business better. Help him with the continuity program and any of the requirements needed. Use it as a platform to prioritize for all the issues that needs to be addressed. And I bet he'll support you then.
This conversation with Julian Chester has really helped Juan rethink his approach to gaining continuity buy-in in his new workplace. It's true. Each organization and leader faces different challenges. Find ways to make continuity come alive in your organization. Demonstrate that continuity can reduce and prevent losses facing every organization on a daily basis. Identify gaps and practices that can be addressed early on. Research how continuity practices can make your organization better in areas of concern. Let's be realistic. Budget or no budget, engage your leaders and colleagues by showing them that integrating continuity into daily operations is both critical and valuable. It can be done. And if your leader thinks it won't ever happen to your organization, identify real-life examples of unexpected incidents that have happened to organizations like yours. Do your homework. Show them how resourceful and thoughtful you can be. Finally, always have ideas on hand for how your leader can champion continuity in your organization, and never miss an opportunity to share them. All right, let's see what Juan does with his newfound enthusiasm and ideas. He's spoken with Julian Chester, done his homework, and feels good about his second chance to gain his leaders' buy-in for continuity. This time, he's ready. Let's watch Juan speak to his organization's challenges.
I understand funds are tight, and you'll be making some difficult business decisions. While I am identifying ways to save, I also see the continuity program as a tool to help manage our financial crisis, just as it helps in other crisis situations. The questions you're asking yourself about our organization now are the same questions answered through strong continuity programs, like what functions are essential to our mission, what staff and other resources are needed to accomplish them, what do reduced operations look like, and what programs, functions, and systems must remain funded.
Now Juan presents specific solutions achieved through continuity.
We can do a lot of continuity planning, training, and exercises without needing a whole lot of extra funds. I'll help lay out a reasonable multi-year budget for program activities that will show the overall investment.
Watch how Juan connects continuity to his organization's programs.
Training opportunities and exercises bring a whole organization together in a productive, collaborative, and fun environment. Good way to meet a requirement and boost morale.
Here, Juan promotes the everyday benefits of continuity.
The continuity program helps us learn a great deal about the organization, gives the employees a sense of comfort about their job security, and benefits the organization on a daily basis. With respect to IT, we have a great team. but the continuity program will help put their IT disaster recovery plans and communication plans into context. For example, the continuity program helps define what system and files are most critical, establishes a priority for their recovery systems, and establishes what teams must be in place to help operate those systems. Telework drills can help our IT staff analyze the agility of the network.
Finally, Juan makes a pitch for his leaders' involvement.
Sir, I'd like to organize a continuity working group with your support and involvement. We can invite representatives from across the organizations and even the community, giving you a useful venue for discussing your vision, priorities, and decisions. Thank you, sir. I'll get started on it this week, and I'll let you know the date of our first working group. All right?
Looking forward to it.
Excellent. Did you just see what happened? Juan began by identifying and prioritizing key benefits and the specific concerns of his leader. He connected the dots between continuity benefits and his organization's short and long-term needs. He took into consideration the organization's finances and found ways to begin his work with only modest support. And that's not all. He got his leader involved by appealing to his need for communication and collaboration. He even offered an opportunity for his boss to increase his presence and outreach. Are you inspired yet? You can do this, and you don't have to do it alone. Juan didn't. We encourage you to watch this video with others. Discuss your observations and ideas. Think through how you can make this transformation yourself. In a moment, we'll list some basic resources and tools available to help you along, so that you'll be better prepared to step into your leader's shoes. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, and good luck.
Find the following resources at www.fema.gov. Briefing Guide, Gaining Senior Leadership Buy-in for Continuity. An editable outline to help prepare you for productive discussions with leaders. A fact sheet for the full workshop. Learn about the workshop offered by FEMA on this same topic. A training guide, Gaining Senior Leadership Buy-in for Continuity. Train the trainer materials from the workshop. Continuity of Operations, What You Need to Know. Comprehensive overview video on continuity of operations. And this video.